So the Dodge Charger is making somewhat of a comeback. So we don't have official numbers yet, but many dealerships are reporting there is way more enthusiasm and way more interest in the internal combustion version of this Charger than there ever was for the Daytona.
Yeah.
I went to a Dodge dealership recently, and I talked to the guy there, and he said, we have like 2 electric ones in the lot that have been here forever, and we've not ordered any more. We just don't. They sit here. No one buys them. So we're not buying anymore because we know they're just going to sit here. We have 2 here. They've been here forever, and they'll probably sit here forever. But we get these like 6-packs in, and we're already starting to sell way more than we ever sold of the electric versions. Well, both of them, it's an inline 6-cylinder, twin turbocharged. The standard output makes 420 horsepower. The high output makes 550 horsepower in the Charger. So it's a very peppy little engine. It's only 3 liters, but it really gets up and goes. I tested one. I drove it around recently, and for how big it drove much smaller than you think it would. And where they had it parked at the dealership, it was sitting right next to a Challenger, like a wide-body Hellcat Challenger, and it dwarfs it. It's so much bigger. And the Challenger is a big car. Mm-hmm. But this is so much. It's taller. It's wider.
Referred to as a land yacht.
Yeah. It makes Challenger look dainty. Some folks are saying they want to see this in a wide body, but it already is a wide body. It is only a 1/10 of an inch shy of needing marker lights for like a heavy duty vehicle.
Because it's so wide.
They literally can't make it any wider.
But people are so used to seeing the tacked on.
Which I always hated that.
The lick and stick fender flares.
The 4 doors are just now getting to dealerships, which they got that turned around really quick.
Mm-hmm.
The dealership I was at a couple weeks ago said they were going to be months out, but I looked online today and I'm already seeing some of dealerships.
Great.
Motor Week tested this out, and they really liked it enough that they gave it their Car of the Year award. So this is the second Car of the Year award it's gotten.
Really?
Yep.
Did you like it? Did you test the standard or the high output?
They only have the high outputs right now.
Okay.
It's quick. It's very quick. You do notice, I think your average Joe may not notice. For someone who knows the backstory of this vehicle and knows it shares its platform with the electric version, I noticed the compromises that were made to get it to also work for internal combustion. One of them being you sit really high. You feel more like you're in a smaller crossover, ride height wise. Now, for some people, they like that. They don't like having to like sit down into a car. However, the sill, when you get in and out, is massive. It's super wide. I imagine that's something to do with the packaging, but yeah, you have to step over. It even says like no step on it because like it's a bit of a journey to go from inside to outside of the car. And what I look for in a big American muscle car, if it sounded like a V8, I would probably like it a lot more because then it can be big and dumb and it's fine.
Yeah, there's something about it being a V8 where you're like, I'm dumb and I like it. Like,
yeah. Woo. It's not trying to pretend to be something it's not.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's the same thing that Logan pointed out a long time ago. There's something uncool about the Santa Cruz where you're like, well, actually, it tows a little bit more than the Maverick. And that's what this feels like compared to the V8 version. I think that there's something uncool about going, well, the 6 cylinders got more power. There's something just less cool about having to explain it. No one needs to explain a big, dumb V8.
Yeah.
We all get it.
Yep. Especially when speed and acceleration have been so democratized. Like anyone can have it now. In a used Model 3 with 150,000 miles will be faster than any car you've previously had, most likely. It does, the high output does 0 to 60 in 3.9. But the important thing about that is it will do that consistently, being all-wheel drive. Whereas, yeah, the Hellcat technically might have a slightly better 0 to 60, but in the real world, you're at a stoplight, you're not on a prepped surface, your tires are maybe 3/4 of the way through their lifespan, the surface imperfections in the road, whatever. You don't have time to swap out race fuel and put skinny tires on the front. In the real world, this thing will leave a Hellcat in the dust. This is just going to constantly be zooming past Hellcats all day long. But it's not as fun. I have more fun driving my car, my 72 Cuda, that has half the horsepower of this thing and gets that power to the ground much less efficiently.
Is that your final verdict on this car until we get more information or more engine options, more things coming down the pipe?
If you're looking at something like this, honestly, I would buy a very lightly used 2023 Charger Scat Pack and enjoy that for the next 5 or 6 years. Then when they do come out with the V8 version of this, then step into that.
If they're going to do that, here's my thought on their strategy. I think they need to make a come to Jesus kind of press launch and go, so many of our loyal customers that really care about this brand went to their limits to buy these Hemi versions of these cars. Obviously, a lot's changed. And we have plenty of people who are also Hemi-loving, V8-loving Americans that would happily go down in horsepower to get their V8 back. We're going to have the option of having a Hemi again. We want you to know that that Hemi is coming, and you give people a heads up, because if you just show up one day and you go, Hemi's back, buy it now, no one that bought one will forgive them. People want the Hemi, and people bought the Hemi, and those two people are in conflict now, and they're both Dodge customers that we want to help.
I don't see them doing that.
No, me either.
Honestly, that's not a very good business strategy, because if you 'cause
then
people,
they wouldn't buy the 6-cylinder until then.
Dodge needs to be making money right now. If you want the Hemis down the road, we need people buying these cars now.
That's true.
Because if no one buys these and people stop buying the Durango, they've already stopped selling the Hornet, Chrysler's down to one car. If we say, hey, the Hemi's coming, and everyone stops buying anything with a Chrysler badge on it, we'll never get a Hemi, because they won't be able to sell anything.
That's true.
They have to do this delicate dance where they leak just enough so that the diehard enthusiasts continue to have brand loyalty, knowing that there's a chance a V8 will come back, but the masses will continue to buy these 6-cylinder vehicles.
Yeah.
Which is what has happened, apparently. Mopar insiders recently reported that their sources within Dodge have said the Hellcat is coming, officially. I mean, officially, anonymously, it's coming. But it's not coming for a while. Apparently, they're waiting for the mid-cycle refresh of this car to put in the Hellcat, and it will be a Hellcat.
So that's in 4 years?
It's rumored 2028 or 2029.
I hope they don't change much. I love the way this thing looks.
They need to shorten the wheelbase for the two-door. Mm-hmm. They also need to bring the C-pillar more forward and let that deck be longer and flatter. It cuts down too much. The hood is the worst part, though. Where it goes straight right in front of those mirrors, it needs to keep going straight. I know this curve down is more for efficiency reasons for the EV version that this shares. They got to do away with that. It's got to be flat. I should be able to take a ruler to it. Mm-hmm. A straight edge, completely flat to the front.
I agree those things would improve it. I still really like the way this looks.
And honestly, it is one of those that looks better in person. Mm-hmm. If you like the way it looks and you haven't seen it in person, you'll like it even more. Honestly,
go buy the 6-cylinder, please.
Yeah. Honestly, we need people buying the 6-cylinder if we ever want to see a Hemi.
Yeah. Your donation today.
Yeah.
We did the Sarah McLachlan music.
For just $1,000 a month. Yeah, so I don't envy those in Dodge having to make decisions right now, because you're right. They don't want to piss off their most loyal customers. But frankly, they need to make money if they want to do anything, if they want to just exist.
Yeah, they're not actually in business to make cars. They're in business to make money. So,
well, and they don't have 100 other cars they could be selling right now.
Right. It's
this
basically
is it.
this.
This is it.
All their eggs are in this basket.
Yeah, this and the Durango.
But the Durango is long in the tooth, and they don't have the money to do that. They don't have the money to refresh that or make a new one.
They said they're building a new Durango, but that it's not coming anytime soon. They said the current generation Durango is going to go through 2028 minimum.
And that started in 2011.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep.